Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Hadley Skolnick. I'm the Associate Director of Undergraduate Admissions here at the University of North Alabama. And the mission or the goal of this webinar is really just to reach students and families who maybe haven't had a chance to come to campus yet, or who maybe have, but just want to make sure that they're in on all the next steps and up to date on all of our processes. Please be sure if you have any questions, we have a chat and a Q&A section going, so you're welcome to drop some information in those. We'll be happy to reply to you there. Here in a moment, I'm going to kick it over to Mary Harbour. She's going to be doing our presentation this evening. But again, just really want to make sure that everyone here uses the full hour. We're going to hang out here till 8 o'clock and just troubleshoot with students and guests and see how we can help y'all this evening. So thanks so much for joining us. Oh no. Everybody doing okay hearing? I see that some people are having a hard time hearing. Okay, okay, good deal. All right, well, I'm going to kick it over to Mary. Mary, if you want to help us get started here.
Sure. Thank you, Hadley. Hi, everyone. Like she said, my name is Mary Harbour, and I'm the Assistant Director of Recruitment here in the admissions office at UNA. I'm also a Florence, Alabama native and a UNA graduate. So I love everything UNA. I love my job, and I'm so glad that you all are here with us tonight and ready to learn more about UNA. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we can get our presentation pulled up here, if you'll give me just a moment. All right, that should be good. Okay, so again, thank you for joining us for UNA 101. We're going to cover admissions, scholarships, housing, and beyond. If you have any questions as we go through, feel free to throw it in the chat. Like Hadley said, we're going to be on the call until 8, so we'll be answering questions at the end, but feel free to go ahead and throw those in the chat at any moment. Okay, so just a little overview on UNA. We were established way back in 1830, so that actually makes us the oldest four-year public institution in Alabama. So there's a lot of history here on campus, but right now is a really exciting time to be a student at UNA and to be working at UNA because we are growing. We currently have over 10,500 students on campus, and that's in all of our student populations, which is exciting. On the flip side of that, though, while we are growing, it is still very important to UNA to keep that family community feeling. In your classroom, you'll see our average class size is about 18 to 1. So for me, when I was a high school student looking around at colleges, I knew I wanted all the things that you may get at a larger university, like the clubs, the involvement, education abroad was big for me, internships was another big thing for me, and I did get all of that from UNA. But I also had a classroom where the teacher knew my name and I knew the students in my major and we all could work together. And you just had a little bit more of that small, intimate classroom setting, which worked really well for me. We are also excited to say that UNA was recently voted the #1 best small college town by USA Today. And like I said, I'm a Florence native, so I love our area. Our downtown in Florence is walkable from our main campus, and there's all kinds of local restaurants, coffee shops, boutiques, festivals, and different things that happen throughout the year. So there's plenty to keep you entertained. We are also right here on the Tennessee River. So if you enjoy boating, kayaking, bass fishing, we've got all that here for you as well. And going off of that, there are over 150 different student organizations on campus, so there's something for everyone. If you like Greek life, or maybe you want to be in a religious organization, or you have a special interest that you like to meet other students who like that same thing, there's all kinds of things that you can get plugged into. We actually spend the entire first month of school in the fall doing what we call Main Month. And all of these different student organizations will host different events and gatherings and have free food and free dinners and all kinds of things for that entire month. So that's a great way for our students to get plugged in. And then last year, I did want to mention we are a Division I institution for athletics. We are currently building a brand new football stadium on our campus, and we are so excited about that. Our current stadium is just off of campus, a short drive away, which has been great, but having one on campus is going to be a game changer for us. And we are on track for that to open for fall 26. Also exciting news related to athletics. We just announced in the past week that UNA is now getting a track team for men and women. And we're also getting a women's flag football team. So that's pretty exciting too. All right, so tonight, this is really the bulk of what we are going to be covering. This is kind of your timeline. If you're a senior in high school and you're looking, throughout the rest of the year, these are the things that you're going to need to be accomplishing. We will be emailing this presentation out to our registrants, so don't feel like you have to copy all of this down, but we'll go through each one and go in a little bit more depth throughout the presentation tonight, but you will also be getting this in your email. But before we get into all of that, I did want to cover kind of some resources for our students. And really, there are three main resources that we offer for you. Number one is going to be our team. So if you look here, these are members of our admissions staff. You already heard from Hadley at the beginning of the call. She's our associate director. But we have a lot of other folks who are in our office, and it's our job to help you through the entire college search process. I know it can be kind of overwhelming, and you may have a lot of questions, or you may not even know what questions to ask. But we are here to help you. We want to help you. So please, please, please reach out to us anytime that you feel like you need some help throughout the process. If you look in the top corner here, you will see the UNA admissions contact admissions link. So if you are unsure of who your admissions counselor is, you can actually go to that website and you look it up by state, by county, and it will populate their photo and their contact information for you. You can also just email us at admissions@una.edu and ask to connect to your admissions counselor, and we would be happy to do it that way as well. We do individual appointments. So if you need a phone call appointment or an appointment over Zoom or Teams, we can set that up. We can also do it in person. If you'd like to come to campus and meet with us, we're happy to do that as well. Okay, so our next resource, number two, is going to be our website. This is just the homepage of una.edu, but there are so many things that you can find here on the website. We have an entire scholarships page that's going to outline everything, which we'll talk about later. The Find Your Admissions Counselor, Find Your Advisor. We have a tuition and fees calculator on here. So if you can't find it through us, if you want to get on the website and look there, that's a great resource and tool for you. And if you can't find it on the website, let your admissions counselor know, and we can help direct you to anything that you may need there. Oh, whoops. Kicked us out here. Okay. The third resource that I have for you all is going to be visiting campus. So I hope each of you have visited campus. If you have, if you want to put like a smiley face in the chat to let us know that you visited, that'd be great. We love when we have students to come visit because you really truly don't know the university until you've come and experienced it yourself. I say that for any schools that you may be considering, we encourage you to take tours of all of those institutions. You may have gone there on a game day, or maybe you have a sibling that's gone to a school and you think you know it, but you really truly don't until you come and take a guided tour of the campus. We offer daily tours every Monday through Friday at 9:45 a.m. and 12:45. So you will come, you will get a quick admissions presentation before your campus tour, and then you will be led around the campus by one of our LaGrange Society members, and they are always in the purple polo and khakis, like you see in that photo there. Something also that we do for our daily tours, if you have a major that you're interested in, or maybe you would like to hear from the Honors College, we now offer what are called academic experiences, and you can add them on as part of your campus tour. Or if you've already done a tour, but you would just like to do an academic experience, you can do them kind of individually as well. But that is where you can choose a day and a time, and you can come. For example, nursing offers them. You can meet with a nursing staff member and then get a tour of their simulation lab. So there's all kinds of different options for you. So I highly recommend that if you are interested in any kind of program at UNA, adding on that academic experience. And kind of going off of that, we do offer larger visit events called preview days. We have one coming up on November 7th. There's also one in March. And our preview day is, like I said, it's a large event and it's an open house style event. So you can really kind of pick and choose how you want that day to go and choose things that are interesting to you. If you've already done a campus tour, you don't have to tour again. You can just go back and see a residence hall or go to the Honors College session. So it's very much a choose your own adventure kind of day. And then last here, we have our admitted student day events. These are my personal favorite. The admitted student days happen in the spring, so you'll see February and April. We have those coming up. Your admitted student day is really going to bridge that gap between your fall visit that you may have taken and orientation. So maybe in February, you're undecided between UNA and another school, or maybe you would just like some more information before coming to orientation. I recommend Admitted Student Day. You will get to do an interactive activity with your college, and then it will move into a conference style event for the remainder of the day. So you can pick and choose. We've had an education abroad session. We've had a fraternity and sorority life session. Last year, we got to do a planetarium show, which was really great. And then also we have at the end a res hall crawl, which is super fun. Each of our residence halls will be open and they have different activities in the lobby. My favorite of those being the Stuff a Lion activity, which is basically like Build-A-Bear. You go in there and you stuff a little lion and get that to take home. So it's a lot of fun, and we would love to see you guys back at that in the spring. Right. I do want to touch on applying. We're kind of moving away from the resources, and now we're going through that timeline that we saw earlier. Step one on your timeline, of course, is going to be to apply. We are currently in free application week in the state of Alabama, but the good news is UNA's application is always free. So if you didn't get to it this week, it's always going to be free. You didn't miss out on anything. And there are 4 easy steps. Step number 1, you create a MyUNA account, and that's just your basic general contact information. From there, you will complete your online application. If you're a senior in high school, that's more than likely going to be fall of 26, and that would be the freshman application. From there, we need you to send your official transcripts. That has to come directly from your high school. It cannot come from a student. Most of them will have an electronic transcript service. You can send it that way, or we can take it in the mail, or your school can email it directly to us. We need you to at least have that 2.5 plus unweighted GPA for admission. As long as you have that, you will be admitted to UNA, and that is because of number 4, we are test optional. If you're not familiar with that, test optional means that we do not require ACT to be on file for you to get admitted. I do, however, recommend everyone turn it in because it can only help you with scholarships and course placement. It's never going to hurt to have an ACT on file. So I just recommend everyone to go ahead and send that in. Kind of going back on our transcript note there, I do recommend you also submit your dual enrollment transcripts at the end of your senior year, and that way we can make sure that we will give you credit for any of those courses that you may have taken throughout high school. They're not required for admission. Okay, so moving on, Duo Mobile and UNA Portal. Once you have been admitted, you are going to receive something in your email about Duo Mobile and accessing your UNA portal. Duo you'll want to do first. That's our 2-factor authentication. So it's really just an extra layer of security to all of our UNA accounts. You probably have some things that are similar on your own devices at home, but you do have to have Duo downloaded on your phone in order to access Portal, our housing application, Canvas, all kinds of things that we do online at UNA. So that's very, very important. If you run into trouble with Duo, you can always email helpdesk. That's HELPDESK at una.edu. That'll go to our IT folks and they can help you troubleshoot that. Same with UNA Portal. So UNA Portal is kind of your one-stop shop after you've been admitted. So before admission, you've got your MyUNA account. After, you get a UNA portal. That is where you can go to view and accept your scholarships. Same with accepting and viewing any loans or grants, registering for courses, finding out who your advisor is, and a whole lot of other things. So UNA portal is very important. You will access it with a UNA email that you get when you are admitted to the university. And again, if you have trouble accessing portal, you can always email helpdesk@una.edu. All right, so next on our timeline, you need to start thinking scholarships. So once you're admitted, you will automatically be qualified for scholarships as long as you have applied for admission by that March 2nd scholarship deadline. These scholarships are what we call merit awards, where we are looking at just your ACT, just your GPA, and wherever they come together on that grid is what you would qualify for as an incoming freshman. These are yearly amounts, so any of the monetary amounts on here would be for 4 years. And the housing scholarships, it's a $4,000 housing scholarship for 2 years. So if you were to qualify, let's say for the 10,000 plus housing, you would have 10,000 a year for 4 years, and then that $4,000 housing scholarship for 2. Again, these are awarded automatically. We will look at your super score on ACT. Also, I know science is now optional. So if you choose not to take science and that improves your score, we will take that. If having science in there improves your score, we will take that. So whichever one is going to benefit you the most, we will go ahead and accept. I did also want to mention for any of our out-of-state folks on the call, if you receive $250 or more in a performance scholarship, so these would count, you will automatically qualify for in-state tuition. Which is great. We do have some counties that border us in Mississippi and in Tennessee that will automatically qualify, regardless of that tuition, or I'm sorry, regardless of the scholarship amount. But if you are outside of those counties, as long as you have $250 of a performance scholarship, you will automatically get that in-state tuition. Okay, another great thing about UNA, we have several different scholarship opportunities, and the majority of them are stackable, which is nice. You can get some from academics, maybe some from leadership. You can add them up and help you to cover that total cost of your bill. We this year have a general scholarship application that is going to open on November 1st. You will be receiving emails and communications from us, so students, please check your email to make sure you are aware of when that application opens. But in that general application, you'll be able to apply for a variety of different scholarships like we have here. Leadership scholarship is a big one. So if you have been active in high school with different clubs, community service, maybe you were in the band, or maybe you had a job, or you were very involved in church, really anything other than your grades, we want to know about it. So you can compile all that onto a resume, upload it into that general scholarship application for that leadership scholarship, and you'll be considered for additional scholarship. Endowed scholarships are going to be those that private donors will donate to the university. So let's say I am a graduate of Florence High School and I want to give $1,000 back to a student who's coming to UNA from Florence. Those are the types of scholarships that endowed will entail. A lot of them are going to be based off of your major, maybe where you're from. The great thing about our endowed scholarships is that if you don't get into your freshman year, you can continue to reapply every year that you're at UNA. So maybe you could get a surprise your junior or senior year and you could get a scholarship at that point. We do also want to plug our scholarships of distinction. So that is a wonderful scholarship program. It's a very large scholarship. And they're for specific majors. So you'll see here accounting, data analytics, and computing programs. So that'd be CIS and IT and computer science. And then lastly, we have our engineering and industrial professions. If you're majoring in any of those, please look on our scholarship page or please reach out to your admissions counselor. Each one has different deadlines and different requirements to apply. So I can't cover them all here. But if you reach out to us, we'd be happy to walk you through that application process. And then lastly here, valedictorian, salutatorian, the honors college, and then performance awards like choir, band, athletics. Those are all additional scholarships that you can get as well, and they are all stackable. So a little on housing. Because we have our housing application opening very soon, we want to cover that. The 26-27 housing app is going to open on December 1st, 25. That will be here before we know it. We do require that all of our first-time freshmen live on campus for 1 year. So the majority of our freshman class will be staying here. However, there is an exemption form. So if you have a reason that you need to live off campus, or maybe you're going to commute from home, you can complete that exemption and it will go to our housing office and they will determine whether or not you have been exempt from that. There are 8 different styles of halls on campus. I'm sorry, 3 different styles and 8 different residence halls. The most popular are going to be our hotel style where you have a bathroom in your room. That's like in the photo there, Olive Hall. There's also Mattie Lou Hall, which if you come for a campus tour, we have a showroom in Mattie Lou. You can view that. We also have Rice and Rivers Hall, and I call it a traditional dorm style, where the bathroom is kind of a community bathroom on the entire floor. And then we also have a suite style. So our suite style has 2 single rooms and a double room that attach to a bathroom. So you'll have 4 students kind of sharing that bathroom area. And then that opens up to a larger common area and kitchen. All of their halls have layouts on our website. I think there are now video walkthroughs as well, and photos. So you can get there online and see all of that if you can't get to campus. All of our residential students are required to have a meal plan. So when you are choosing your housing option, you can go ahead and select a meal plan as well. But don't worry, if you change your mind, there is a way you can go back into your portal and update that meal plan. But our meal plan gives you dining dollars, which can be used at all of our on-campus dining options. So you'll see a list here. Of course, Chick-fil-A and Starbucks are very popular. We also have Panda Express. There's a Moe's Southwest Grill, a lot of grab-and-go options, little convenience store type option as well near the residence halls. And of course, the main market, which is our dining hall on campus. Okay, so after you have applied for housing in December, you'll be looking forward to SOAR. Our SOAR program is our new student orientation program, and registration for that is going to open in January. So very quickly after housing, you can go ahead and start applying for SOAR. SOAR is where our incoming students will come to campus in June or July, and they will learn everything that they need to know before coming and moving in the fall, and starting their classes. So if you know for sure that you're coming to UNA in January, that's awesome. You can go ahead and hop on, pick your date, and sign up for your session over the summer. Um, they are all kind of first come, first serve. So sessions will fill up as they get full. I recommend getting on there as early as you can, as soon as you know that you're coming to UNA, and going ahead and signing up for your SOAR session. I do want to go back, that jogged my memory a little bit. So we'll back up to housing. Our housing application and room assignments are also first come, first serve. So if you want the best chance to get in the hall that you want, you need to apply early. You do have to be admitted to the university in order to apply for housing. So you want to make sure, if you know you're coming and you know you're going to apply for housing early, that you are admitted by that December 1st deadline, so you can get in there and do that. Okay, so next in your timeline is going to be academic advising. Um, we do things a little bit differently at UNA with our academic advising. Some of you may have siblings, or maybe when you were in college, you did your academic advising at orientation. But a few years ago, we decided to make the switch and allow our incoming students to get advised prior to coming to orientation. There's a lot of reasons for that. One of them being is you get that one-on-one appointment. Uh, if you come to an orientation session, we will still have some time for you to be advised. However, it is a group session. So you just don't get that one-on-one attention if you have dual enrollment credit, or maybe you've just got an interesting situation with your major and you have a lot of questions. Doing it at orientation, you just don't get that personal time. But now, with our academic advising the way it is, you can have a one-on-one session, whether that be online or in person. You get basically 30 minutes one-on-one with your academic advisor. Also, parents, you can sit in on those calls. If you come to orientation to be advised, they just can't allow parents to be in there just because of the time crunch. So it's just been really great having it open up early for our students. You'll see here on May 1st, that is when our freshmen can begin meeting with their academic advisors. So late in the spring, when you're getting ready to graduate, don't forget to check your emails, because we will be letting you know that you can go ahead and schedule those appointments with your academic advisor. Now, if you don't know who that is, you'll see the link in our bottom corner here. It's una.edu/find-your-advisor. Wonderful tool. You can get on there and it pops up a search bar. All you do is just type in your major. So if it's nursing, type that in, and it will pop up a photo of who the academic advisor is for that program, and a link to their calendar or a link to their contact information. So I recommend you jot that down, or just reference back to this presentation, because in the spring, that's a really great way, if you can't find it in your portal, to find out who your academic advisor is. Okay, so in May, after you've done your advising, and then you move on into June and July, you've come to your SOAR session. Now you're getting into end of July, beginning of July, and August, and that's when we're thinking about scheduling move-in and getting moved into campus. You'll see here we have several dates for you. They are also going to be listed at that link at una.edu/housing/important dates. But July 1st is going to be a big one because that is when housing will open up their move-in registration form. You do have to log on and actually pick your move-in date and register for it. So please be mindful of that. And you'll see it closes on July 15th. So really, you've just got about 2 weeks to get in there and pick your move-in date. So go ahead. If you're like me, you've got everything in your phone calendar. I would go ahead and throw those dates in there so you don't forget about that. I know a lot of folks are doing vacations and things in the summer, so it could be easy to miss. August 6th, we do have early arrival move-in. That is university affiliated. You do have to be pre-approved for that. The majority of those are going to be like for band. I think maybe the girls going through sorority recruitment. No, they pushed it back, so scratch that. But definitely band. Some of our athletics will get to move in early. So if you are part of an organization that needs that to happen, they will communicate that to you. But your move-in would be on August 6th. Everyone else, you will be moving in between August 13th and 15th. Those are our fall 26 move-in dates. UNA is so wonderful. Our faculty and staff typically will help our students move in. So they'll walk right out to your car. They'll help you grab all your stuff and move it into your residence halls. So they've got it down to a science pretty much over there. It usually isn't too crazy on move-in day and you can get in and out pretty quickly. Okay, I know that was a lot to cover, but I know we wanted to leave some time for you guys to ask your questions at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen here. And if any of you have questions, now is the time. If you just want to throw it in the chat for us, and we would be happy to do our Q&A portion.
And really quick note, I did throw some links of some things that you should kind of be taking action on or kind of some higher level next steps for you all. So I didn't link everything from the presentation, but I did link kind of some top of mind information. And Tracy in the chat asked a really great question. What does a student do if they're an undecided major? I usually like to plug a little bit of my UNA story here. I entered as an undecided major and I had quite a bit of dual enrollment that had to make me pick a major. That's nothing to stress about. All of our colleges have an undecided area. So we really recommend that students consider maybe a higher level thinking of, do you want to do health professions or business or education, or one of our College of Arts, Sciences, and Engineering areas. And then you can pick undecided within that major and still connect with an advisor that way. I see a couple of questions coming up here. In order to find your advisor, you can go to una.edu/advising and you would just type in your major. But I do want to emphasize, guys, that if you go ahead and connect with your advisor at this stage as a freshman, they're probably going to tell you to check back in with them at about April. So just kind of throwing that out there as well. Let's go back up to our questions here.
I do see, sorry,
You go ahead, Mary. You got it. You got it.
Someone was asking if the transcript would be available. Yes, we will be emailing out the recording. So to everyone who attended, you will be getting a recording of this.
All right. Kaylee asked, do the performance scholarships include color guard in the band? Yes, our band offers a variety of different performance and involvement scholarships. Let's see here. When will we hear about what scholarships and how much we will receive after we apply on December the 1st? So that's a great question. Our scholarship deadline is actually March the 2nd. So students tend to hear about scholarships as early as January and all the way through March in terms of what their package looks like. If you want to find out a little bit more about what that package is going to look like, we really recommend that you connect with your admissions counselor. And I did throw that that connect link in the chat as well.
Let's see here. Nathan asked, are there any specific scholarships for history majors as with engineering or others? There are not, as like the scholarships of distinction, there are not any for history. However, there may be some departmental scholarships within the endowed scholarship pool. So that is why we encourage everyone to complete that endowed scholarship, because there's several that are related specifically to majors within there.
I noticed that Austin asked a really good question. How do you select your roommate after you've chosen your residence hall? So there's actually sort of a soft matching process. You're going to answer about 5 top level questions like, are you an early riser? When do you like to study? Do you like to listen to music? Those kinds of compatible questions. They'll sort of initially match you if you don't have any roommates pre-selected, but once you've met someone that you want to room with, it's a really simple process of just exchanging those ID numbers in the housing portal. In order to access the housing portal, you will have to be admitted. So just kind of plugging that information again, and that'll be available starting on December the 1st.
Jennifer had a good question, wondering how the dining hall handles food allergies. Um, our dining services, they are wonderful to work with any of our students. So they just ask that you reach out directly to them. You are welcome to do that at any point throughout the year. If you want to do that at orientation or at SOAR, that's a great time to do that. But they work with our students on getting them meals that are appropriate for any allergies or dietary restrictions.
I'll send them that dining link, Mary, if you want
Yes,
to
that'd be great. That'd
plug
be great.
away at the next question.
Yes, do we send ACT scores to UNA? Yes. You are not required to, like I mentioned, you do not have to have it on file. But like I said, we recommend it because we will use it for scholarships. We also use it for course placement for things like your history class or your English class. So if you don't have one on file, we unfortunately have to do a placement test. So we just prefer, it's easier for you if you just go ahead and send that score in. We need it directly from ACT. So when you are taking your ACT, you know, you can choose different institutions to send it to. They will automatically send that score to us. If you did not include UNA on that list, you'll just log back into your ACT account and retroactively have your scores sent to UNA directly from ACT. And then how do you know that they've been applied? You will be receiving emails and it will be posted in your UNA portal account. If you feel like you can't find it, or if you think maybe it hasn't been posted and it should be, feel free to email your admissions counselor, or you can email admissions@una.edu and we'll be happy to check on it for you.
I think I'm caught up here. Did you make it to Carrie's question? Separate
Yes.
scholarship apps or?
Well, a separate so
Okay. I'm going to
well,
go ahead and jump into Carrie's question here. Will all of these separate scholarship applications like leadership open on November the 1st? Yes. So our general scholarship application is going to contain our additional academic, our involvement in leadership scholarships, as well as our endowed and alumni scholarships. And the deadline for ACT scores will actually take your ACT through April. Sorry, Mary, I'm not sure if you were touching on that earlier or not. So you want to go ahead and submit everything by March the 2nd, but we'll take everything through that April test score for super score purposes. And a really quick note, everybody, on super scores, since the science section is optional this year, we're going to give you your best super score. So if the science helps you, we'll use it. If it doesn't help you, we won't use it. So no stress there. Just kind of grouping these in together, and then I'll toss Tyler's question over to Mary. For scholarships, do you only have to apply in the general scholarship app? And does it enter you for all that you're eligible for? Yes, that's correct. So our merit-based scholarships that are in the chart, those are automatic based on your ACT and GPA. You just need to get admitted to UNA and send us that information for those. However, the other scholarships will all be on the general app, and they'll kind of file you in for what you're eligible for. The scholarships of distinction do have a few extra steps. So like maybe a video essay in lieu of an interview, those kinds of things. But yeah, that's kind of what you need to be thinking about in terms of scholarships, and really want to plug again, guys, that connecting with your admissions counselor sort of for some scholarship coaching is a really good way to make sure that you've crossed all of your T's and dotted all of your I's with scholarships.
Tyler did ask about applying for the Honors College. You do not have to wait until November to do that. So you can go ahead if you are admitted to the university and apply for the Honors College to be considered for admission into their program as well as for their scholarships. And then does leadership scholarship amount vary? It does. Excuse me. They typically are, Hadley, correct me if I'm wrong, a couple thousand, 1,000. We also award housing scholarships through leadership. So maybe if you don't qualify for a housing scholarship from your ACT and GPA, you could potentially get that through leadership. So I encourage every student to apply for that to potentially get some extra funds.
It's a great question. Thank you so much, Luke. Callie, I'm going to answer your question here. What sort of things will qualify you for off-campus housing, even if you are a freshman? So our housing policy is live on campus or live at home for incoming freshmen. We do have a housing exemption option that's available through where you'll apply for housing. Typically, those could be any range of things, and we do encourage students who have severe food allergies or maybe some ADA or health compliance issues to speak to our DSS office here on campus to see if we can accommodate you here on campus. If not, if you have to file an exemption for personal reasons, they'll evaluate those individually and on a case-by-case basis. So if you're thinking that you don't want to live on campus, again, the policy is live on campus or live at home, or extenuating circumstances that might keep you from being able to live on campus. And typically those will include some sort of doctor's note and consultation with DSS. I did just
Okay.
notice here from Mary Francis. I'm sorry, Mary, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Um, is there anything I need to do to accept my acceptance? I received my acceptance letter, but how do I confirm that I will be attending UNA? This is a really good question, and I notice that we still have quite a few folks on here still with us. With UNA, we don't do a deposit model. You don't have to let us know that you're attending. We just want to know that you're accepting your scholarships and plan to attend. And we will typically start those conversations around your awards programs in May. So as soon as you start getting scholarships and receiving information on how to officially accept those, that's going to be in your UNA portal. So just really want to plug again that you want to get into your UNA portal and have access to it, so you can accept those scholarships, and that's how we'll communicate with you about your plans to attend.
A little bit on the Honors College. That is something separate that students can apply for. So if you are strong academically, we encourage you to consider that. It is a separate application process from your regular UNA admission application. They do a holistic review of all of their applicants. So they will be looking at ACT and GPA. I think generally a 25 and above is what is considered, but they also are looking at your leadership resume and an essay that you'll write, which I think is about 500 words. So they take all of that into account, and then they can admit students into the program. There is a certain amount of honors credits that you'll have to take in order to remain in good standing to be in that program. And they do have an honors forum that you would take. But other than that, it's a lot of scholarship support, mentoring support. They help with internship opportunities, and just a lot of social activities too. They also have Kobe Hall Honors House on our campus. So that is open to all of our Honors College students to use. They can study in there, hang out in there. And they like to say they have free printing. That is very popular with our students. So you can go in there and print for free. Okay.
Just responding to Angel here. She had a specific question about
Okay.
some international scholarships.
Got
Thank you, Angel. Hopefully we can connect offline about that. I want to make sure that I get you as many detailed answers as I can about that. I see another international student right here. I'm going to message you each individually. Mary, I think we had another question about the Honors College from Jacqueline. What are the benefits of the Honors College? I think you touched on that well,
I
but
did,
just wanted
yeah.
to, yeah, good
I mean,
deal. Okay.
scholarships, social opportunities. Yeah, we kind of covered that.
So,
Hadley, I think you mentioned the ACT scholarships being applied.
yes, the ACT scholarships. So you're going to want to send your super scores, and we'll take as many super scores as you have through April again. Typically, we start awarding those in January. So if you're already admitted, if you've already sent us your stuff, you can expect to hear back from us in January, and we'll award those through March. But we try to get those out sooner every year. So the FAFSA actually opened up on October the 1st. So that's kind of bringing up and moving up the needle on discussing your financial aid. So we're going to do that as soon as possible. Just make sure that you're checking your email that you applied with, and you'll be notified about scholarship notifications there.
Nathan, I think you're asking, you've already done dual enrollment and you've already applied and been accepted into UNA, and if you need to send that dual enrollment transcript. If you have not sent your dual enrollment transcript to UNA yet, we will need it. So in order for you to get those credits, you're going to have to send that to us. I think that's what you're asking. I hope that was helpful. Anyway, to view submitted applications, I'm waiting on my transcript to be sent and was wondering if I could do it myself. You cannot send your transcript yourself. It cannot come directly from a student. It has to come from your school. So your school can send it through an electronic service, whether that's Parchment or eScripts. They can email it to us at UG Alert. Hadley, if you want to put that in the chat. That was kind of hard. Or they can send it in the mail. So electronically in the mail or email directly from your school. There are not separate accounts for student and parent. We just have accounts for the student. How do I find out if my dual enrollment courses will transfer? We will do an official transfer credit evaluation once you have applied and sent your transcript in. But if you would like to view that before, we do have a transfer credit evaluation tool on our website that you can go to, and it has almost every school on there. So you can pull that up and get kind of an idea of how those credits will transfer over to UNA. Typically, if you're taking like a 100 level, 200 level kind of gen ed course, those will transfer over, no problem. Once applied, will acceptance letter be sent? Yes, you will get a physical acceptance letter, and Hadley can probably talk a little bit more about the packet that you will receive once you are admitted.
Sure. So what you need to expect when you start receiving communications about being admitted or about your admissions decision, you're going to get a couple of different emails. Those are going to contain really important personalized information pertaining to your UNA Portal account. And then about a week or so later, you're going to start getting some physical mail that lets you know about your timeline, so sort of your next steps, as well as a physical acceptance letter. So thank you, Ryan. That was a great question. I'll take this one from Aubrey. Do all scholarships open on November 1st? I know that you said Honors College is open right now. Is that the only one already open? Technically, yes. Honors College is the only application open in addition to our merit-based, which you receive automatically upon admission. Thank you, Aubrey.
We have a couple of questions about AP classes. Yes, you'll need to send those. You can log into your College Board account and have those sent. Typically, if you send them at the end of your senior year, that is usually fine. How do I send dual enrollment transcripts? You can go through whichever institution that you took those courses. Most of them will be able to be sent electronically from their website. If you can't find it on the website, you can contact their admissions or their registrar office, and they can direct you on how to have that sent to UNA. Minimum AP score. It depends on which AP exam you took. So many of them are 3s, some of them are going to be 4s. If you go to our freshman page on the UNA website, there will be a full list. So you can actually see all of the AP scores and then the UNA equivalent for that. Counties for in-state tuition in Mississippi. Oh goodness, I can't think of all of it. I know, is it Lee County, I think is included. Hadley maybe
Yeah, I'll pull up
pull
the
that
list
up for
here.
you.
No worries.
Sadly, I don't have that memorized. I probably should.
Okay, I'm dropping this little page here that'll walk you through our in-state policies and lists all of our counties as well. I wanted to go back to Aubrey, your question about the AP scores. Typically, they're going to send your AP scores to us the July before you start your classes. So if you're starting in fall of 2026 in August, we're going to hear back from those in about July. You need to communicate with your advisors early and often about your AP scores and your anticipated scores. But unfortunately, with a lot of those, we have to wait until we get the transcript from College Board. So just be sure and stay in communication with us over the summer, and we can let you know when we receive those scores. Is it true that some counties out of state get automatic free housing? Amy, that's a great question. At one point, we did offer certain Tennessee counties a housing scholarship. Since then, we have moved away from those and we've pivoted more towards awarding leadership housing scholarships. So, housing scholarships are available in a couple of different forms and a few different opportunities. If you're interested in housing scholarships, there are some in those merit-based awards at a 30 plus ACT, but they're not solely ACT based. We also offer some leadership scholarships. High scoring students will receive $1,000 to $3,000 plus a housing scholarship. And also our honors college offers some housing scholarships as well. So we've pivoted more towards a general application process for those, but that's a great question. Thank you so much, Amy.
And Hadley, we have a couple who said they have been accepted, but they have not received the packet. Should they just email admissions?
Please do. Yes, we can check on the status of your acceptance packet and kind of see where that is. If you'll reach out to us, and also we'll have the chat afterward. I'm going to comb through it and try to tie this to some email addresses and text some students too. So definitely, Aubrey, we'll catch up with you and see where exactly your acceptance packet is in the process. Um, just pivoting back, Kaylee had a good question about AP scores. So let's see here. Senior year, you won't receive AP scores until July. How would we apply those if we've already signed up for classes? And when does class registration open? So typically, incoming freshmen can go ahead and register for classes as early as May the 1st. So you're able to go ahead and connect with your advisor and register for those courses. You need to communicate with your advisor what AP courses you have taken, but since you won't know the scores until July, it's more than likely that they will recommend different courses to weigh on your CLEP and AP scores. So it's kind of a hurry up and wait process. It's really where we like to add that personal touch and make sure that you're getting some one-to-one time with your advisor. Your credits and your increase in dual enrollment participation is really why that relationship is so important. So again, just kind of hang in there with us through the summer and work with your advisor, and we will get you in those courses. Thank you,
We
Carrie.
hit most of these.
Luke asked a good question here. If you're participating in UNA's dual enrollment and you have a dual enrollment credit agreement with your high school, so we have some high schools listed on our website. I'll drop those in the chat as well. If you are participating in spring 2026, yes, those will count for your dual enrollment scholarship. And our dual enrollment scholarships start at 6 credit hours and a 3.0 plus GPA. So for those of you who aren't aware, if you take at least two courses through early college and have this dual credit agreement, we offer you a freshman year scholarship. So it does not renew, but it will stack with those other opportunities. Scrolling down here. Thank y'all for letting us know. I'll check on those packets for sure. That's great to know. Any other questions? Mary, I think we've got them all. I tried to add a like to the ones that we went over. Anybody else? These have been great questions, everyone. I really appreciate it. Claire, that's a great question. Are homeschoolers eligible for the dual enrollment scholarship? A lot of homeschools are housed under sort of umbrella, maybe with a local school district. So that's kind of on a case-by-case basis. We can definitely look into that for you if you've participated in dual enrollment to see if we can offer you those scholarships. Annie asked, do you do school visits, or is that something I need to ask Mrs. X? She's my admissions counselor. We do school visits, and likely, if Miss Eck is your admissions counselor, she's kind of in your area this week. Again, we kind of do those on a case-by-case basis. You might see UNA in your lunchroom or in the hallway at school. You should be getting text messages and emails whenever we're coming by, but also you can reach out for a one-to-one appointment and see if they're in the area too. Thank you, Annie. That was a great question. These two. This one's a little bit tough. The CLEP exam, the latest you can take any sort of CLEP replacement exam is even through July. As long as we receive the scores in time for you to CLEP out of that course, typically we'll accept those. So just kind of think summer before you start your freshman year is when we want to do CLEP.
And Hadley, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't believe the dual enrollment over the summer would count towards the scholarship.
It will not, unfortunately, no. If you want to qualify for that, you're going to want to take at least 2 courses before summer.
Band auditions, I believe, largely take place in the spring. I do recommend if you're interested in band or choir that you reach out directly to the band director and choir directors, and they can give you more information on exactly when this would be. Yes, dual enrollment scholarship, that is only for taking UNA dual enrollment classes. And then where can we find the example of the leadership resume that was shown at preview day? We have copies here. We can also email you a copy. I don't know that it's on the website, but if you would like one, if you just shoot us an email at admissions@una.edu, we would be happy to send you a copy of the example resume.
I'll go ahead and drop a copy in here. Let's see if I can find it. Awesome.
You can sign up for spring. I don't think spring registration has opened just yet for dual enrollment, but it's too late for the fall semester. Oh, great. She found it. There's that example resume right there.
Yeah, if you're interested in spring dual enrollment, you can apply at the same apply link that we sent back earlier. It's una.edu /apply, and you'll apply as an early college student. And we can help you get that course request in and get you signed up for spring. You can take up to 2 classes each semester. How many dual enrollment hours do you have to be eligible for the scholarship? That's a great question. Let me go grab that official page for you all. So for early college scholarships specifically, and remember, we're not talking about scholarships to take dual enrollment classes. We're talking about scholarships for having participated. You can view all of the districts that are involved as well as the requirements for those scholarships at the page I just dropped in the chat. So that's going to outline all of the information. We typically start those at a 3.0 with 6 credit hours or 2 classes, and they go from there. And there's a full list there of all of the schools that we have agreements with. Thank you, Becky. That was a great question.
We are bumping up here on the 8 o'clock hour. So I did want to mention before we let go today, we have 5 UNA swag packs that we will be mailing out to attendees. So we're going to pull up after the call a list of everyone who's attended tonight, and we will randomly select 5 of you to get one of those swag packs. So if you are a recipient of one, please check your email in the next day or 2, and we'll be notifying you that you were a winner of a swag pack. And that's just a little thank you for joining us tonight. All right. Well, I think Hadley and I are going to hang out here on the call until 8. So if you do have any additional questions, we'll be here for a few more minutes. But if not, you are free to go. But we just want to say thank you so much for joining us tonight. We hope that this was helpful for each of you. Please reach out to us if there's anything that we can do as you go throughout your college search. We are here to help however we can. But we'll be here for a few more minutes. So thank you.
Catherine did have a good question. Is it only Alabama schools that are listed in that agreement? We do have a few Tennessee districts that are included, but for the most part, this is for our regional and in-state students. If you are an out-of-state student, I've spoken to several students participating in dual enrollment in other states. We do have other scholarships available for you, and you can list your dual enrollment involvement on your leadership scholarship. So that does add points and weight to your leadership application, so you can certainly still get some scholarship consideration for those. It is unfortunately too late to enroll in fall classes unless you want to participate in fall term 2. So we do have a shorter 8 weeks here at the end. Typically, we don't encourage those for dual enrollment students, but if you're interested, if you will, please email me. I will drop my email in here. It is lskolnick@una.edu, or if you'll email earlycollege@una.edu, we can enroll some new students here as well. Thank y'all for the thank yous. It's very sweet. We're happy to help. I did see one more question here. My daughter's interested in joining a sorority. How do you start with that process? There will be an interest meeting. Starting in the spring, we'll have a couple of events that are specifically Greek life oriented. But that process is really simple. You sign up for orientation, and they'll kind of speak to you throughout the summer. But typically that opens in about May. So you do have some time there as well. And be sure to reach out if y'all have any questions. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. That was a great question as well. Anybody else? We got about 5 more minutes left. We'll hang out with you here.
And going back up to her sorority question, our Panhellenic sorority, we have 4 of them, and typically their bid day is on Labor Day. So if that gives you kind of an idea, it's about a week or so after our classes start in the fall that they will go through recruitment.
And I'll drop our fraternity and sorority life page here as well. But definitely, if you can come to a campus event, typically FSL is set up, fraternity and sorority life is set up, and they love to speak to students there about the process. Mary and I were both Greek. We certainly enjoyed that experience for sure. Thank you all so much for participating. I think that's all for questions. But again, if y'all think of anything or if you want to connect with us, please do so through our website or through our emails. And we will send out a copy of this recording and announce those swag pack winners within the next 2 days. So just be sure to be checking your email. Oh, McKinley has one more. If the school is not on the list for dual enrollment, we cannot get a scholarship for dual enrollment at all. That's correct. That is only for district agreements. I see. And then one other student mentions, I'm trying to graduate a little bit early. Dual enrollment is a great option if you're trying to finish early with your bachelor's degree. So definitely focus on that. Only way for me to graduate early is by doing college courses. So if it'll help, I do it. Yeah, early college is great. Dual enrollment of any kind really is awesome at this stage. So definitely want to encourage y'all to look into your local dual enrollment options. But if you're interested, again, that email is earlycollege@una.edu for dual enrollment. And we'll be more than happy to help you there with those options as well. All right. Thank you, everyone. Anybody else? We got about 3 minutes. All right, awesome. Thank you for your great questions. We appreciate you all. And Roar Lions, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Bye.